Howdy y'all, Van here. Have you guys been playing Star Citizen and got yourself a starter pack and you've been enjoying the game, playing with some friends, and in the back corners of Discord, there's that one guy that bragged, I got a Polaris for 200 bucks. Not, some $1,000 capital ship. And yes, that's not possible. No, you can't do that. How'd you do that? And you hear some mythical term called CCUing, CCU chaining, or war bond upgrade chaining, all these crazy terms, and you don't know what any of it means or how it's even possible. Well, I'm here to tell you it's easy. I've done it, and you can game this system. Now, keep in mind the house will always win, but I wanted to demystify some of the CCU chaining and what all these terms and how to do it, and it's actually very easy. So, in this example here I'm showing, this is a Polaris I could buy right now. For $20, which is what you're seeing right there. Actually, put my brush on. For $20 of credit, I could purchase a Polaris right now. Now, I've already spent $205, but I'll get to that. So, let me zoom out here. And down and simple, a CCU, it stands for Cross Chassis Upgrade, and it's actually an old term, and now the new term is just ship upgrade, and that's all it is. Now, let me be a little more practical and show us on the store here. So, if I go to robertspaceindustries.com and go to shop and pledge store, you have your normal stuff, your ships, your paints, your merchandise, your game packages. By the way, game package, all that is a ship that has, let me just click on one here, this line right here, Star Citizen Digital Download. Every account needs this somewhere in it to play the game. So this game package here is a salvation starter salvage ship. Comes with paint, but more importantly, it comes with the game itself. So let's say you have the Star Citizen starter pack, this $45 Mustang Alpha, and you've been playing it for a while and playing the game for a while, and you want to upgrade that. You want something a little bit bigger, a little bit better, something that can hold some more cargo. Let's say a Nomad. So I'm just going to click on the section right here, Ship Upgrade. Robert Space Industries and all of their kind, good customer will let you take your $30 Mustang. You paid $45 for that pack, but keep in mind, $15 of that was Star Citizen itself. So your ship is worth $30. And they will let you upgrade that and just pay the difference. So let's scroll down here to the Nomad. Where's that? Nomad. Oh, there it is. Click on that. So the Nomad is valued at $80. So if you were to do this purchase, you would take your $30 Mustang and upgrade it to an $80 Nomad and only pay that $50 difference. This is the very bare basic what a CCU is. It's a ship upgrade. All you're doing is paying the difference. So if I go to my lovely paint here, we'll take our $30 ship. We want to take it to an $80, and we just pay that $50. Oh my gosh, my paint skills are terrible. Let's make it better 5. There we go. You pay that $50 difference. And then your Mustang Alpha becomes a Nomad. Now, how people are using this to get Perseuses, Polarises, Hammerheads, all these crazy ships for stupid cheap, is they are combining that with another feature called War Bond. So let me go back to the store here. War Bond, you'll see this little tag on a lot of items in the store that have War Bond on them. Bare basics, War Bond just means it is a discount that CIG is offering, but only if you pay with new money, meaning you cannot use store credit. So, for example, here, let me click on the clipper. Does this show me the non-War Bond option? No, it doesn't. Okay. The clipper here war bond is $135. So if I look at the Clipper normally, the Clipper is $150 ship. Okay, 150. And I hit view offers, so you get your normal. Yeah, here's your standalone Clipper, 150. The war bond, again, you see this orange war bond tag, is $135. So they're giving you a $15 discount if you buy it with new money and no store credit. Now, war bond applies to everything in the store. It applies to standalone ships, to packages, to even the CCUs, the ship upgrades. So again, I'm going to go back to the home page here, and let me demonstrate this. I'm going to go to Shop, Pledge Store, and we're going to go to Ship Upgrades again. We're going to say, again, Mustang Alpha, I want something bigger and better. Now, if you were to scroll down to the Clipper or just do a search like I did, you'll notice it has two options available. If we can click on that, you have your standard, which is $120, which is the from 30 to 150. That's, you'd pay the 120 difference. Or if you use new money, you can save that $15 and just pay 105. So you're essentially getting a Clipper for $15 off. Now, go back to paint. So if we were to take our $30 here, and we're going to go all the way over here to the Clipper for 150, but we're only going to pay 105. Now, this, I'm sure you're kind of seeing how people are doing this already. But what they are doing is they are combining multiple war bond CCUs like this to stack that $15 here and there all the way up to the Polaris. So a CCU chain, let's say I can go from, where's my cursor? This to the Nomad, right? And pay that $50. And then we can go from the Nomad to the C2 Spirit, or C1 Spirit. And that's what, $45 there. And then you can take that 125 and go up to the Clipper, and then that's a $25. Gosh, can't. There we go. $25. This is a CCU chain. We're going from one ship to the next, to the next, to the next, upgrading as you go. Now, the more of these war bonds that you can fit in there, the more discounts you can stack. So if you look at this example I gave of my Polaris here, I'm starting with a Dragonfly. And I'm going from Dragonfly to 300, 300 to Cyclone, Cyclone to Gladius, Gladius to Kellis, all the way down. And you can see each one of these has been a war bond CCU. And you can see there's a $10 savings here, $10 savings here, $10 there, $15 on this one. And then when you add up all those savings, that's how I'm getting $770 in discounts. And so I'm getting a $975 Polaris capital ship for essentially $205 over a long time. I've been pinking these CCUs for a long, long time. But that's it. That's all they're doing. They're just upgrading from one ship to the next, to the next, to the next, stacking as many of those war bond discounts in there as you can. Now, CCU chaining, to do it when you're seeing people that are doing 80% discounts on Polaris like that, those CCUs have been stacked and purchased over years and years of playing. I got some CCUs that go back probably 4 or 5 years at this point. And actually, if we look at some of them, like my whole C CCU, actually that's not even a part of this. Well, we can look at the whole D. I mean, I spent $10 for this CCU, and it's now worth $100. So it's a 90% discount. And I get another one, the Perseus character Perseus, because the Perseus just came out and the Perseus went up in cost. I spent $15 to take a character of Perseus. And that is now, if you were to buy that, would be $185. So that's the basic of CCU chaining. That's how people are getting crazy capital ships Um, I guess another thing I should point out, you don't have to own a source or a target ship to buy a CCU. You can buy, let me go back to that clipper, Warbond Edition. Over here on the left, you can change this from my ships to all ships. And then if I just flip this from lowest to highest, you can see I don't have to own a Raft or a Hornet or a 3050 or a C1. Like if I can buy this right now for 10 bucks and lock in that $15 savings that the Clipper currently has. And then that's what you do. You buy these little tiny upgrades over the years, and then 3-4 years down the road when you're ready to buy a Polaris, you stack all those discounts and you go from one ship to the next to the next to the next, and you apply as many of these savings. Now, the other part that a lot of people do when they CCU chain is LTI. And you might hear the term LTI, lifetime insurance, or LTI token. And essentially, LTI stands for lifetime insurance. And so your starter pack, when you buy it on the store, it'll come with a certain amount of insurance listed here. So in this case, 6 months. Insurance currently, as in year 2025, does absolutely nothing. But down the road, when the game comes out, insurance will play a big part in when your ship is destroyed, how much it's going to cost you to get it back. And CIG has released some information on ship insurance versus ship, I can't even remember what the other term they used were. But everybody wants lifetime insurance. They want to be able in 10, 15 years, if the game's still going around then, to still be able to claim their ship when it gets destroyed. So another thing you can do when you do this CCU chaining is what's called an LTI token. When you upgrade a ship from one to the next in a CCU chain, whatever link has the highest insurance is what carries over. So in this case, your Mustang Alpha came with 6 months, but the Clipper Warbond came with 120 months. So as long as this was in your chain somewhere, Warbond, whatever is in that chain, all of it will have 120 months insurance. So what an LTI token is, and CIG sells one every year for Invictus and another one every year for IAE, it's just a cheap ship that has LTI on it. Anytime they release a new ship for the first time, that initial sell, the ship will always have lifetime insurance. Great example of this is the MDC. Just came out 20 minutes ago. The MDC, this little one-seater vehicle that has a point defense cannon on the back. I mean, it's cool and all, but realistically, everybody's buying this because it only costs 45 bucks. And it has lifetime insurance on it. Actually, if I hit more info and you click on them, also includes, you see here, lifetime insurance. So again, the MDC normally is $50 with 10-year insurance. This is with credit. If you buy the Warbond edition with new money, you save $5. Again, start with this as your CCU chain, save $5. But more importantly, this is going to come with that lifetime insurance, and that lifetime insurance is going to carry all the way through your CCU chain. So that way, if I look at my Polaris here, even though this started with a Dragonfly, do you see here this Dragonfly started with insurance, lifetime insurance? So that's going to carry through all the way to my Polaris at the end with lifetime insurance. So, what else? I think that's pretty much lifetime insurance, CCU chaining, Warbond. That's the basics of how that crazy person in the back corner of your Discord channel is getting a Polaris for 80% off. Yeah, if you have any questions about it, feel free to leave a comment or hit me up on Discord or wherever. And that's the basics of how the myths, the legends of CCU chaining.